Terminull Brigade is essentially what happens when you mix a hero shooter with a roguelike and throw it into a digital world. You pick from different characters called Rogueteers, each with their own weapons and abilities, then either go solo or team up with friends to fight through randomly generated missions. What makes it interesting is that every single run feels completely different, of course, because of how the upgrade system works. You start with your character's basic kit, but by the end of a run you can be shooting chain lightning or dropping black holes everywhere. The whole thing takes place in this digital universe called the Nullverse, where you're fighting against these shadow algorithms. The story stuff is there, but honestly the main draw is the gameplay loop. You jump into a mission, go through a bunch of rooms killing enemies or completing objectives, and after each room you get to pick from 3 random upgrades that can completely change how your character plays. So let's talk a bit about the characters, since that's where the game gets interesting. You start with Colonel, who's your typical military shooter guy with an assault rifle, rocket launcher and a shield. He's pretty straightforward, good damage, can tank some hits and works well for people who just want to shoot things. Then there's Aurora, who can actually fly around the battlefield. She's more of a support character with crowd control abilities. The third starter is Blade, who uses both an SMG and a giant sword. She's all about mobility and burst damage, dashing around and slicing things up. The combat itself feels smooth. Each character has different abilities on cooldown, plus their basic attacks. Colonel has his rifle with a time-based reload system, where if you hit the reload button at the right moment, you get bonuses. Aurora can pull enemies together with a vortex ability and then fly up to avoid ground attacks. Blade can dash through enemies and throw out sword projectiles. During each run you're constantly picking up these temporary power-ups that only last for that mission. But you're also collecting modules and currency that make your characters permanently stronger. There's this grid system where you place modules that give your characters stat bonuses, plus talent trees that affect all your characters. So you've got both short-term variety within each run and long-term progression that keeps you coming back. The missions themselves are set in different areas. There's the Ring City, which is all futuristic and digital looking, and the Wasteland, which is more like a scrapyard desert. Each area has different enemies and bosses, plus they drop different types of modules. The rooms are randomly arranged each time. Boss fights seem pretty well designed, with different mechanics you have to deal with. Some have weak points you need to hit, others have immunity phases, where you have to destroy certain objects first. The difficulty scales up too. Completing easier difficulties unlocks harder ones with better rewards. The co-op is where this game probably shines. You can play with up to 3 people total, and the characters seem designed to work together. The upgrade system means even if you're playing the same character as someone else, your builds might end up completely different by the end of a run. Performance-wise, everyone seems to agree the game runs really well, which is always nice in a game where timing and precision matter. The art style is that clean digital aesthetic you'd expect from a game set in cyberspace. What's cool is that even though there are roles for each character, the upgrade system is flexible enough that you can often build against that type. That support character can become a damage dealer, or that damage dealer can become more defensive, depending on what upgrades you find and choose. The game scratches that itch of wanting each run to feel different, while still having meaningful progression between runs. The co-op focus means it's probably going to be one of those games that's more fun with friends than solo. And this sentence concludes today's video. If your time was respected, a like or comment is very much appreciated.